Hey Waffle Gang, I do hope you're well. My name is Mark and today we're checking out some more Reddit stories, and if you do love a Reddit story, why not consider hitting that like, subscribe, maybe that notification bell too, and let's crack on with today's first story. Much love, guys. Now today's first story comes from the AmIOverreacting subreddit from Sunny Skies, who says, "Am I overreacting for telling my coworker to stop talking in a baby voice?" Hi Reddit, long time lurker, first time posting. I, 22 female, have an odd coworker, 22 female, and like the title says, she does talk in a baby voice. When I first came to work at our company, she was quiet and never talked to me. I understand, I am new, why would she want to talk to me? But being the person I am, I wanted to try to have a relationship with my coworker because we're going to be desk to desk. So I would just start out by complimenting her and her clothes and got us to start talking from there. I finally had my foot in the door and now I don't have to sit in a quiet, awkward space with her. Until one day, she started speaking in a baby voice. And at first I thought it was a joke, but there was no joke that was made. It was just her speaking to me and I just awkwardly laughed and I just went back to what I was doing. I thought it was a one-time thing. Maybe she was making a joke and it just didn't land for me, but I was wrong. It was not a one-time thing. Almost every day now, she at least speaks in that baby voice once, and it is starting to make me feel uncomfortable. Because now she will come over by me and talk to me in the baby voice and just start acting strange, such as walking by my desk, stopping staring at me and walking away. Waiting for me when I go on my lunch, and recently I was talking to another coworker and she comes over to grab a cup of coffee. She turns to look at us, stares and scoots over and says, "Can I play?" I'm not doing the voice. In the baby voice, laughs and walks away. My other coworker was stunned, but then we both laugh awkwardly and we try to go back to our conversation. So Reddit, am I overreacting if I tell her to stop talking in a baby voice because it is making me uncomfortable? Nah, I wouldn't say you're overreacting, and to be quite honest, that would make me feel uncomfortable at the same time. And I think in some roundabout way, mentioning it is the kind thing to do anyway, because if you're finding it awkward, other people will likely to find it awkward at the same time. I mean, you don't have to be an arsehole about it, do you? You can just sort of like say, hey, I wanted to mention something that, like, when you use that different voice around me, it just makes me a bit uncomfortable. I'd appreciate if we could just talk normally, or, just ask her, why do you use that voice? There may be some other reason for it, but Dangerous says, I've 19 female actually had this problem in high school. This girl would not stop with the baby voice. At the time I never said anything, but if it were me now I would say, why a baby voice if you don't mind me asking? With as much kindness as I can muster. Miserable says, it's very possible she was either a victim of sexual assault as a child or is simply autistic or has a speech impediment. I'm autistic and a victim of childhood sexual abuse, and because of that, I find it difficult and uncomfortable to talk normally. And even when I do, there is still that but if baby voice. My advice is don't judge her. You don't know her circumstances. If you really need to know why she talks like that, ask her kindly. So OP updated this one a day later and said, "Hi Reddit, I talked to my coworker. I never thought this would have happened, but here goes. I grabbed my coworker aside and said I needed to talk to her. She followed me to the break room and I asked her about why she sometimes spoke in a baby voice whenever she was around me. She looked at me and began to laugh and I was caught way off guard. She was laughing so hard that she started snorting. She eventually stopped, but it felt like she was laughing forever. Then she walked out of the break room and came back with our other coworker and they were laughing together. At this point, you are probably as confused as I am. Turns out it was a prank because I was new to the company and they were waiting to see how long until I broke. I started working here in August. I was beyond words and I'm embarrassed because this was all just a prank, but genuinely felt weird about this coworker and come to find out it was just a prank because I was new. I smiled awkwardly and laughed because I didn't know what else to do. All I can say is that I am embarrassed that it took this long for me to realize that it was a prank. Samantha Fair says, don't feel dumb, it was real and weird. My cat is Fluffy Not Fat says, fucking weird. Who talks to people in a baby voice at work? How old are they? 7? Popular Capital says this. Pranks are supposed to be funny for everyone involved. What they did was intentionally make Opie uncomfortable for months, just to see how long he'd tolerate inappropriate behavior before speaking up. Then they laughed at him for advocating for himself. That's not pranking, that's hazing. Completely unacceptable in any workplace. Prudent Anxiety says, should have said, all this time I thought something was wrong with you. And I was right. ETA, you are not the one who should be embarrassed. Echo Mysterious says, don't feel dumb. You didn't actually get pranked. You just work with total dicks. So they did this for like 4 months. Doing this weirdness, continuing this baby voice for that amount of time while watching someone squirm. You know, that doesn't come across as, you know, workplace banter or a prank or whatever. It just comes across as just being mean. And some people absolutely love workplace banter. And I can get it sometimes if your team is all about that, you know, or you know someone will actually enjoy, you know, a prank or something. Obviously not 4 months long. One of the warehouses I used to work in, the one that had the call center above it, they used to occasionally do a prank on their new people that came in. And it used to make me feel really uncomfortable because you could see the people coming down, they were uncomfortable with it. But they would send like their new people down to us in the warehouse to ask for like a tin of tartan paint or a tin of rainbow paint. And it happened a couple of times, and we'll tell them obviously that, you know, you're being pranked by them upstairs. There's no such thing as tartan paint or whatever. And they'd go off embarrassed. And, you know, it makes you feel like shit in the end. And obviously you get some people that find it really funny, but then you get others who don't. Our manager eventually got fed up with it because it was happening like nearly every other new staff member that they had, and they had a high turnover in that place. So he basically just said that this needs to stop happening. And to be fair, it did. But what do you guys make of this situation? What do you make of workplace banter, workplace pranks, that kind of thing? Let us know your thoughts down in the comments below. And let's move on to another story. Now, our next story comes from Apprehensive Fox 2655 from the Am I the Arsehole Here subreddit, and it says, Am I the Arsehole Here for getting upset because family members assumed I'd be watching their newborn? I'm a stay-at-home parent. All of my children are finally in school. I now have time to delve into my hobbies and learn some new things which I've been enjoying. During Thanksgiving, I overheard some family members talking about their new bundle of joy. They were asked about childcare, and unbeknownst to me, they said I was going to watch the child. They never even asked me. I looked at them and they just smiled, like it was a privilege for me. I wasn't trying to make a scene at a holiday party, so I didn't say anything, just gave a look. I do not in any way, shape or form want to do that. I'll watch the baby here and there, but not every day. Am I the arsehole? Edit. I'm 100% having a private conversation with them, which is what I have wanted them to do. I can and do stand up for myself. I was caught off guard and honestly pissed. Didn't want to make everyone uncomfortable at dinner. I realized I could have simply said this or that, but it wouldn't have come out of my mouth very nice. No, my husband didn't volunteer me. It's my sibling. Opie adds a comment clarifying, it is my sibling. They do not pay me anything and we do not live together. I don't watch any other children. We never had any discussions about me watching their child. They are newly pregnant and the only conversations we had are about the styles of the nursery. Opie also says, I've confused a lot of people, I'm sorry. My brother is having a baby with his new girlfriend. He himself volunteered me to watch the baby. I overheard him telling other family members I will watch their baby for them. Maleficent says, not the arsehole, but now they think you agree, and that's why you smiled at them. You should have immediately said no, you won't be. Opie says I didn't smile at them. I gave them a what the fuck look, and they smiled at me. Commenter was replying to a similar comment saying she seemed shocked at the audacity and confused in the moment. She also might not have wanted to spoil her Thanksgiving or others. Maybe she's too polite or there is other family history. I don't know, people have reasons, jeez. Opie says you're exactly right. Lol, I wouldn't have been nice and it would have absolutely caused a fight. I didn't want innocent family members thrown into it or feel uncomfortable. Shy Fidelity says, I mean, you really need to stand up for yourself when you hear things like that. Opie says, yeah. In the moment though, it caught me off guard. I also wasn't a part of his conversation. I overheard and shot him a look. There are a lot of people around and I'll deal with it privately with him. not in front of everyone to embarrass him. I wasn't about to ruin Thanksgiving for other people. Crux says, playing the devil's advocate here, but did these family members ever watch your kids? It sounds like yours are off to college, which would put the new parents at a solid babysitting age when you needed it. If they did watch your kids, then they may expect some sort of reciprocation now it's their turn, which seems fair. Opie says, no, we lived states apart when my kids were younger. I honestly never asked him to. Opie updates the post and says, I realized some of you were right. I needed to tell them ASAP so they can plan actual daycare. I called him last night. I calmly asked him if he really thought I'd be watching his baby. He said yes, because I was home all the time. I asked him why he didn't ask me first, and he said he didn't think he had to. Cheeky bastard. It really pissed me off. I said I have plenty to do, and that if there is an emergency, I will be there and help, but I wasn't going to watch the baby every day. He then got pissed and said they planned for me to, and now they have no idea how they will afford childcare. This baby was planned, I should add. He is upset because he also needs to work out for 2 hours a day after work. What? He feels now that he won't be able to, and that will mess up his mental health. They work from 7:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. and work out for 2 hours after that. That's around 10 hours I would have this newborn. I said, so you're having a baby for me to take care of so your lives don't change. You want me to give up my free time, but you won't. We have talked about how happy I am in this moment with free time. He said a child is more important than your hobbies, which totally set me the rest of the way off. I said mine are because I had them. Your child is more important than the gym. It's not up to you to decide what I do with my time, and you can work out at home. I said I was sorry and hung up. Now it's going to be super awkward, but at least they know now. Only Breadfruit says there's absolutely no way this is real. The update about them planning on OP babysitting and now being upset it's too over the top. Like the only reason they can afford a baby is if OP babysits. Yeah, nah, this is fake. OP said it is not fake and I wish it was. They can pay daycare. They both have jobs. It was a tactic to get me to fall to his demands. Have you ever dealt with a narcissist? Honey says, so they didn't ask and they weren't even planning on paying you. I mean, what is wrong with people? Enjoy your free time. Lord knows, even if they're all in school, there's still plenty to do in a household, so you enjoy those few hours a day to yourself. Opie says, I guess not. Me being paid was never brought up, just that they couldn't afford a real daycare. Wonderful says, how do they not understand costs involved with a planned baby? Even if it's only part-time, paid care. How do they not understand this? Opie says they will be able to afford daycare. They both have good jobs. He just wanted me to fold by playing the pity party card. Bloody hell, the cheeky bastards. He said a child is more important than your hobbies, but he needs to hit the gym. So this was a planned baby. At some point they've sat down and discussed, let's have a baby together, and their plan on the list. But let's not tell them, of course. Let's just wait till the last moment. I mean, they got bags of time on their hands. Of course they want the baby in their lives. Oh, dearie me. What an absolute pair of teapots. But what do you guys make of this situation? Let us know your thoughts down in the comments below. Bloody hell. Let's move on to another story. Now our next story comes from a throwaway account from the relationship advice subreddit. It says, my 29 male, wife 29 female, is trying to push me into sleeping with her friend, 27 female. I'm not sure why, and I'm not sure if I should do it. Don't do it, my friend. Don't do it. It says, my wife of 3 years, 10 years together, and I have what I think is a solid marriage and sex life. A long time ago, she asked me if there was any of our mutual friends I was attracted to. I told her that I only had eyes for her. She said she was serious, and she said she wants to know names. I refused to answer. She kept trying to get me to tell her, and eventually I broke and said her name. She then asked if I would sleep with her. I told her of course not. She then asked if I would if we weren't married. I still said no. My wife said I was lying, and she kept pushing me to answer otherwise. I again just gave up and said sure, if I wasn't in love with her, I'd sleep with her friend. That was the end of the conversation. Over the last few months, the friend has came up in conversation. My wife specifically has been comparing herself to her. Like she'll make a comment on how said friend has a better butt than her and is more well endowed than her. I'll always tell her that she's better looking, but she won't believe me. I get the feeling she is very upset that I said that and is now jealous of her friend because she caught my attention. 3 weeks ago, my wife offered to get me and her friend together. I was taken aback and asked her what the fuck was she talking about. She then said that she knew I wanted to sleep with her and that I thought she was better looking than her, and she would understand and wouldn't care if we slept together once. I told her that she was speaking crazily and that I wasn't into her friend. She then said that it's not going to hurt her feelings if I am, and that she really thinks that I should accept her offer. I told her no, and she legitimately asked me if I would fuck her friend. I again said no. I asked why she wants this. She said it wasn't some weird fetish, that she just wanted me to be satisfied. I told her that I couldn't sleep with another woman. She had been asking me to do this for a while now, and she even told me that the friend is open if I am. Which bothers me that she told her friend about this. She really wants me to do this for some odd reason and isn't letting it go. I'm tempted just to do it so I don't have to hear it again, but I really don't want to sleep with anyone other than my wife. But apparently, she's all for me banging a friend that she's jealous of. This is such a strange situation and I'm really at a loss. Can anyone tell me why she's like this, or what should I do? My first thoughts on this is either insecurity gone absolutely wild and now it's turned into a test of, she's trying to prove that you actually do like her, and will go to the point of actually sleeping with her, which is going to destroy everything anyway, or that she's feeling guilty for something she's done and wants you to do the same, so again, somehow it solves everything, which again, it won't. Because the moment, if you was to sleep with her, I'm not saying you should, but if you was, it will just make things 10 times worse. Human quotes OP saying, I'm tempted to just do it so I don't have to hear it again, and then says, I guarantee that you will hear about it ever so slightly more if you do it. There's 3 things possibly going on here. 1, your wife is suffering from a lack of self-worth and feels she cannot make you happy and is trying to push you towards someone else. Verdict, unlikely. 2, your wife is manipulative and is testing you. So far, you have failed, so you have revealed that you would fuck her friend if she wasn't in the picture. Verdict, highly possible. 3, your wife has fucked your best friend and is trying to manipulate you into sleeping with her friend to make things even and relieve your wife of any guilt or questionable morals. Verdict, also highly possible. OP replies saying, I doubt the third one. I only have one friend that isn't divorced due to infidelity, so I doubt they'd be down with sleeping with her. My wife also hates cheating and cheaters. The second one could be entirely possible. I thought I would have passed the test when I said that I didn't find her friends attractive, but she kept pushing and I just gave answers to get her off a topic she wouldn't let go. Just Joey says, or she could have eyes on or be flirting with another man and wants you to fuck the other girl so she can fuck the other guy with no guilt. I've read a lot of posts recently where the wife asked the husband if he'd fuck someone else if given a free pass. It always turns out it's because she already has eyes on some other guy, or is already fucking some other guy and wants to make it equal. I don't know what to tell you. Maybe snoop on her phone a little and see what you can find. Check her social media for anything suspicious. It could be nothing but a fetish, but you never know. Opie says, I guess it's something to look into, but I doubt it. Commenter says, if it's not a kink, it sounds like a test. Opie says the second one could be entirely possible. I thought I would have passed the test when I said I didn't find her friends attractive, but she kept pushing and I just gave answers to get her off a topic she wouldn't let go. Aki says, no, this is some sort of very insecure trap. The way she was talking before, I don't know, sounds bad. I think you need to very firmly tell her she needs to stop this. Get tough. It's not alright and it's hurtful to you that she thinks of you this way and is talking to her friend about all this. You feel pushed and pressured and uncomfortable. If she is insecure, she needs to learn to deal with those issues and stop projecting them onto you in crazy ways. Therapy, really, because this is pretty crazy. OP adds an update saying, after reading all the comments, I had an idea of what I needed to say to her. I wanted to make sure my feelings came across as clearly as possible. so I spent some time writing what I planned to say. What I said was, "Wife's name, I love you more than anything in this world. I don't want anyone except for you. I happily swore to you that I would be yours and yours alone for the rest of our lives. That's what I want. I don't want to be with your friend. She is nothing compared to what you mean to me. I need you to tell me why you are doing this. Even if it hurts me, I need to know why. No matter what it is, we can work through it, and it won't make me stop loving you. I just need you to be honest with me." I confronted her the night I posted, after we both got off of work. She started weeping. She said she was sorry for being like this and that she couldn't help it. I cried with her and comforted her. After the tears stopped, she told me why she was doing this. And like many of you said, she was not cheating on me. In fact, she assumed the opposite would happen eventually. She said, "I was doing this because I'd rather you fuck around with her because she won't try to steal you from me." I was blown away that she said something like that. I asked her why she felt that anyone could ever take me from her. She said that since we've been together for 10 years and have only ever had sex with each other, she thought that eventually I'd get bored of her and want to find someone new to sleep with. I told her I'd never get bored of her and she will be the only one forever. She said that she knows how men are, and she was worried that now that we're getting older, I'm going to cheat on her with someone younger. She then told me how she feels so unattractive. She mentioned that she's been gaining weight, which I didn't give a fuck about, and how she's not sure if she'll be able to pull off the trick she does in bed for the rest of our lives. I told her that she is amazing in bed and blows my mind every single time. I then told her that even if we didn't have sex, I wouldn't run off to be with some younger woman. She again cried into my shoulder and said she can't believe that I'd still want her after a decade. I assured her again that she is the only person I want for the rest of my life. As of right now, I'm encouraging her to get therapy for herself, and we're going to try a little couples counseling. I don't think this is much of a roadblock in our relationship, but it couldn't hurt to look into professional help. Thanks for all the help. Commenter says, "Wow, a happy ending." Another commenter quoting the therapy and saying, "Good. Although if these insecurities are brand new and out of character for her, you might also want to encourage a physical checkup as well. I know you don't care about the weight gain, but if it's tied to some kind of hormonal imbalance, you might be able to solve two problems at once." Another commenter says, "Y'all are so young. Poor lady. She's lucky to have you as a husband. I didn't see or read the original thread, but yes, it sounds like she needs some therapy and to work on her self-esteem. Buy that woman some flowers like yesterday." Commenter says, "Thanks for the update. Give your wife a hug from me. I know how she feels, poor thing. I had my midlife crisis at 29 and for some reason just freaked out. She's been waiting for the other shoe to drop and it could just be anxiety on her part. Also get her hormones checked. You'll be surprised how they can affect us humans. Best of luck to you and her." Well, I'm glad that they was able to talk things out in the end and actually get to the point of the problem. And I think, like Opie was saying, therapy would probably be a very good shout. And the commenters mentioned about the hormone imbalances at the same time. Very, very good shouts. I'm sorry for chuckling towards the end there. When it said about she's not sure if she'll be able to pull off the trick she does in bed for the rest of our lives, I was thinking, what's she up to in there? She up to gymnastics in there or something? Pulling a rabbit out of a hat? What's going on? But as always, wish them all the best for the future, and I hope things do work out in the end. But what do you guys make of this situation? Let us know your thoughts down in the comments below. And just a huge thank you for being here today, getting involved in the stories, your love, your support, your time. It always means the absolute world to me. So thank you so much for being here, and hopefully I'll see you in the next one. Take care and much love.